Alright, I just finished my house. How's yours going?
You should come take a look. I'm almost done.
How did you? Building in Minecraft is a universal experience for all Minecraft players of all skill levels. Whether you build wood boxes, cozy cottages, or grand cathedrals, you still have to dip your toes into the scary waters of building eventually. Ever since I started playing Minecraft on the PS3, I've fallen into the category of mindlessly building wooden cubes on every world I played on. At least that was until last June. Let me set the scene. It's June 2025, and I happen to rediscover this Minecraft SMP that I haven't checked up on since 2020. A humble series called Hermitcraft. It's a Sunday morning, and I'm catching up on Gemini Tay's Season 10 videos, and then I saw this.
Yes, thank you. Hello everyone, Tutorial Gem here. Now, when it comes to making structures in this style, here is how I go about it. You start with your basic structure, a starter house, if you will. Rectangle with a triangle on top. Could be whatever shapes you want, but we're gonna start with this one. Once you have this basic structure, you're gonna build more of them, layered on top of the first one. You can change up your shapes a little bit if you want, but the basic premise stays. Now that we have that framed in, all we have to do is fill it in, and then add the details. And since we're building a village, we're gonna also want to add something unique. I'm gonna call this an asset.
Immediately, my mind was blown. I realized that I don't have to build only cubes. I could also build triangles. Seriously though, after seeing how easy she made that look, my first thought was, I could probably do that. So I went to apply that thought process of mixing simple shapes into my survival world at the time, which resulted in the work in progress town you can see right now. Now, I know you might be thinking, but I thought this video was about being inspired by Bdubs. And to that I say, hold your horses, we're getting there. So sure, Gemini Tay may have inspired me to start building with better, more interesting shapes, but there's more to a good build than just a good shape. See, although most of those builds had good shapes that I'm still proud of to this day, there was a lingering issue that I was still yet to tackle. That issue being textures. Now enter Bdubs. I won't bother introducing Bdubs, given the fact that you clicking on this video means you probably already know enough about him. So to put it simply, he is one of, if not the most influential Biddle. He is one of, if not the most influential builder in the Minecraft community. Bdubs has influenced building from so many different angles. If this video were about all of them, it'd be over an hour long. But today, I want to highlight these three principles. Number 1, shading and texturing. Bdubs has helped pioneer the movement of builders looking at blocks for their color and not their material. For example, he commonly uses toughened stone to make these thin, tall trees, ignoring the fact that the block he's using is a rock and not actual tree bark. Number 2, environment. More than just making standalone builds, he excels at taking into account the surroundings of them, whether that be the ground, surrounding builds, or nature, almost as if he's painting a picture. He puts emphasis on settling the build down neatly into a spot where it feels needed. Third and lastly, purpose. Many of the structures he builds for a reason, not just for the sake of building something. My personal favorite examples of this are his storage house and his greenhouse. By choosing to make these their own builds, he greatly improves the lived-in feeling of his world when compared to the common alternative, which is to just toss all your stuff into and create chest monsters and make square crop fields. Discovering Bdubs last year was such a shock to the way I thought about building, so today I want to challenge myself to build just a simple greenhouse using those three principles. Welcome to the survival world. This is different from the world I showed earlier, so if you're interested in seeing me build this base from start to finish, you can see the progress I've made over the last couple of videos on my channel. I'm gonna be honest, I messed up a little bit. I have footage of me building this greenhouse, but the issue is I was sick when I recorded that, and so all my audio sounds really bad. I sound really nasally and just not well. I can't really use that. But what I do have is a time lapse that I can go ahead and put on screen, and I can just talk through my thought process of building this, what I was thinking about when I shaded it the way I did, And then we can move on to the other two principles, which are going to be the environment around it, like this area. I still need to like bring it into the rest of my base. It feels kind of disconnected. The only thing that brings it in is this path right here, which is not much, honestly. And lastly, this build needs an actual purpose. I intend to have like, oh, this area can be where I actually grow all my crops and have all my plants, given that it's a greenhouse, since right now I kind of just have this little wheat field, but I want to have a spot where I can grow sugarcane, grow bamboo, you know, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the time lapse on screen right now, and now we're gonna start talking about what I was thinking as I was building this. So I think I start with the foundation first. You're gonna see that I miss one little bit of wood in the floor. I don't fix that like until the end, so just don't get bothered by that. To talk about the color scheme now, you can see that I chose white for like the color of the whole greenhouse, because in Minecraft you don't have every shade of every color that you'd like to use. And so when it comes to getting like these darker, like, oh, this part of this color is actually in shadows, it's harder for certain colors to get that kind of detail. But for white and black, you actually have so much shades in between for blocks. Like there's so many white blocks, so many grays. Like it makes it so easy to get these good gradients from white to darker gray into black. So for my first time building in this kind of style, I chose white as the main color. Like it's like before you do something on hard mode, you gotta learn how to do it on easy mode. And so this is the easy mode of building in this kind of style. Speaking of building, while you watch me build this greenhouse, why don't you consider helping me build this little channel by going down and hitting that fancy little red button there. Saying subscribe is too cringy, so I'm not going to say that. So please do it. I put a lot of effort into this. Next up, I started working on the ground for the pumpkin patch. You can see here I'm going to start tearing down the ground and replacing it, all the stone, replacing it all with dirt, pushing it back a little bit. And then I get to work on readjusting the stone columns I had put in. I was using that to kind of mark out where I wanted the farm to go. Then around this waterfall, I put in some moss and stone to make some better terrain. Then for this floor texturing, I put in some packed mud, mud brick, and coarse dirt. And lastly, I put in some leaves around all the pumpkins. Okay, and here we are with our nice little pumpkin patch. We're almost done with it, and I think all I want to do now is just spread this water through the rest of the patch. So if I look at it from like over here, we get this kind of like zigzag flowing all the way through, maybe ending up in like a puddle over here. Okay, let's take a look at this here now with that water put in. Ooh, okay, I think I like that. I think that's pretty nice. The rain. I'm not sure I like the rain. It adds a little bit of this like moody feel. You know, it's fine. I'll leave it. Here's a shot with shaders on for y'all. I think what I want to do is add in a few glow jack-o'-lanterns in there just to give it a little bit of light from the pumpkins. And then maybe I'll put in a few of those lampposts along the pathways to help bring this to life just a little bit more. Add some, oh yeah, it's lit up because people need to get through here and get these pumpkins. Okay, I just put some bridges in over the water. I put some jack-o'-lanterns and a little bit of firefly bushes to add some ambiance. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit shaders now, see how this looks. Ooh, I like this. I think the greenhouse was the central build, but I think I like this more. Oh my gosh, what just hit me? Okay, alright, sorry sir. There's two of you. Stop it. As I was saying, I think this came out really, really nice. I like it. I think I do want to light up this little waterfall just a little bit more because it's kind of difficult to see with the pretty shaders on. And here we are with our completed pumpkin patch. I say completed, but I might go touch some stuff up as time goes on. But anyway, here is a walkthrough from start to finish of what I was doing here. To start off, I marked out the area I wanted to use, and I kind of used these stone pillars to do that. You can see that this whole thing is contained within these pillars, and I use them almost like fences. Very disconnected and broken down fences. But they look nice. I think they look nice. It adds that level of character of wear and tear that this has been here for a good little bit, so these walls have had time to break down. Maybe this pond wasn't here originally. Maybe this was also a little bit of a floodgate, a little dam. But then, you know, after time, and then you get to a pond. Continuing through here, I've gone and done these little bridges over the water, and I try to follow this rule of just, if something looks the same, you try to change it up a little bit. And so these bridges could have easily been just trapdoor, spruce slabs all the way across. But I didn't like how it looked when you're on it. It's just all the same. And so I tried to mix it up by putting some trapdoors in the middle. Over there, this is too small to really like add much, so I didn't really care about it. But yes, we've got the riverbed, and in the riverbed we've got some blackstone mixed with regular mud, and then over here I use a little bit of deep slate. Honestly, I was just running out of blocks, and so I just started pulling whatever looks similar to blackstone. But I'm gonna write it off as texturing, advanced texturing, where no one notices. Coming around this side, you can see that I've got every so often a jack-o'-lantern mixed in with the pumpkins to add a little bit of natural light. I've got a bunch of shrubbery around them to make it look like this is where they're really growing, and then just more of that logic applied over here. And under each pumpkin patch, I add just the tiniest bit of moss poking through so that you can see, oh, this is really taking root into the ground. Where the pumpkins are is where all the vegetation gets to grow. Where the farmer would walk through, all that is pounded down into regular dirt that doesn't have anything growing in it because, you know, he's constantly stomping on it. A firefly bush here, and then a couple big stones to act as almost like retaining walls. You can see over here, we get a pretty dramatic shift in Y level. All this farmland, all of my base over there is at a much different height. And so I could have just like curved it out, like done a really like smooth hill, but that just didn't feel right. I thought it'd be nicer to keep that harsh edge and work it into the territory. So you can see now there's some rocks, maybe they're holding it up, or maybe that's just how it formed. And then the river flows back in there. I didn't really know what to put under there, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I'm gonna regret saying this. I think I can do more to the greenhouse. More specifically, I feel like now that this is standing next to this needs to be more. There needs to be something better going on here. And I think I know what I want to do. And I'm gonna regret saying this because it's gonna be pretty difficult to build. I want to build a tree going straight through the middle, bursting out the roof, and then from the tree we can have some things hanging and growing, like tiny hanging gardens coming from the branches. I'm not sure how large scale of a tree this is going to be. It's going to be maybe the center of it would have to be like this general size. That is my bold statement. That is my bold promise. The next thing I'm going to do is build a tree in the greenhouse, turn this into a tree greenhouse. I'm imagining this like kind of windy spruce tree breaking through the top. And to make sure it doesn't blend in with the floor, we're gonna have to get rid of all the spruce in here. I'll probably switch the floor to like smooth stone or something. But yeah, this is gonna take a lot of work. And so for your viewing pleasure, here is the cinematic version of a lot of work. And just like that, our beautiful tree is nice and finished. It's got some nice winds and turns in there. I even made the roof of the greenhouse look a little bit torn up as if it burst through with a lot of force and impact. But now, what is the purpose of this tree if it's just there, right? It needs to serve some purpose other than just decoration. So I'm gonna put a few hanging gardens on the branches. Just like that would be nice. And texture the cliff behind it, just like this. And now, finally, after adding just these finishing touches outside, adding a little bit of more detail, I can say I'm done. All that's left for me to do is clean up this area, which I'm gonna do off camera. But here is the final look of this base greenhouse. I mean greenhouse, this is not a base. It is 2 a.m. as I'm recording this. I really want to have this video out this week, so pardon my inability to speak right now. But here we are in free cam with shaders on, and you can see we have the nice cliff view back there and our greenhouse, looking at it from the pumpkin patch. I really like this view. I think this came out pretty well. There's not much space to do stuff in here after putting this big tree in the middle, so I just put some hanging shelves on either side so that I can store my crops in here, and maybe I'll add some functionality inside there a little bit later. But for now, this was my attempt at building similar to Bdubs. Let me know in the comments if you think I've made Bdubs proud with this build, or if you think he wants to kill me now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Jesus loves you, I love you, and as Bdubs would say, I love you to death. And I will hopefully see you all in the next one.
Alright, this is take like 5. Trying to get something that sounds okay. Ready? Yeah, I'm almost done. Come take a look. Yeah, I'm almost done. Come take a look. I'm almost done. Come take a look. Yeah, I'm almost done. Come take a look. Yeah, I'm almost done. Come take a look. Yeah, I'm almost done. Come take a look. You should come take a look. I'm almost done.